हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू आवर यूट्यूब चैनल। और आज इस वीडियो की हेल्प से हम पढ़ रहे हैं फिंगरप्रिंट्स, राइट। सो फिंगरप्रिंट्स पढ़ रहे हैं। फिंगरप्रिंट्स क्या है? फिंगरप्रिंट्स बहुत ही कॉमन टर्मिनोलॉजी है। अभी सब बच्चों के फ़ोन में, सबके फ़ोन में फिंगरप्रिंट सेंसर्स है। फिंगरप्रिंट सेंसर्स के थ्रू ही वो अपना फ़ोन अनलॉक करते हैं। बच्चों के ही नहीं, बड़ों के फ़ोन में भी फिंगरप्रिंट सेंसर्स है। सो फिंगरप्रिंट इज समथिंग रियली वेरी कॉमन दीज डेज, है ना। सो फिंगरप्रिंट्स बहुत ज़्यादा कॉमन है। क्या है? फिंगरप्रिंट तो बहुत कॉमन है। फिंगरप्रिंट्स होते क्या हैं? हमें पढ़ना क्या है इस लेक्चर में कि व्हाट आर फिंगरप्रिंट्स, कैसे फिंगरप्रिंट्स बनते हैं, क्या इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है फिंगरप्रिंट में, व्हाट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट इन fingerprint and why like fingerprint is unique, what is the character, what is the basic characteristic feature which makes a fingerprint unique, right? So we will learn everything in this lecture. Okay, so fingerprint शुरू करना है तो fingerprint की definition से शुरू करेंगे. So fingerprints are distinctive ridges that appears as corrugated lines. So ये क्या है? ये है आपके distinctive ridges है जो कि कैसे appear होती हैं, corrugated lines के जैसी दिखती हैं. On the tip of the finger and thumbs, कहाँ पे available है, कहाँ पे present है? On the tip of the finger and thumbs. So finger tips पे और thumbs पे हमारे fingerprints होते हैं. क्या होते हैं? Fingerprints होते हैं. The corrugated results due to rising of a portion of the upper layer of fingerprint skin slightly above the normal level. So जो हमारी normal skin होती है उससे थोड़ी सी above, थोड़ी सी उठी हुई आपकी corrugated lines होती है. These corrugated lines result in fingerprint. These are the raised portion. These are the raised portion which is there in the skin. Okay, in the normal level. Since the upper layer of skin is called epidermis, and finger ridges are also referred as epidermal ridges. So the outer layer is known as epidermis. So we have epidermis in our skin. We have epidermis, we have dermis, we have endodermis. Right? So we have epidermis, we have dermis, we have endodermis. So our fingerprint is present there in epidermis. That's why we say that it is fingerprints are epidermal. Fingerprints are made up of epidermal ridges. Okay. The depression between two ridges also called as furrow and valley. So the place which is there in between two ridges is known as furrow and valley. The ridges and valley form a complex curve pattern that is known as fingerprint. Let's say this is the finger and here you have, so this is your fingerprint and this flowing ridges makes your fingerprint, right? Like this. So here we have, so this whole structure I am highlighting, this whole structure is slightly above and here you can see valleys. Okay, furrows, we call furrow and valley. So these furrows and valleys will make the complete unique fingerprint of a person. The pattern on each finger of a person is really very unique. It's so unique that it is not repeated on any other finger, even in the same person. So if I have 5 fingers and my fingerprints are all different in these 5 fingers, that's why fingerprints are really very unique and important. किसी एक पर्सन की 5 उंगलियों में भी सेम फिंगरप्रिंट कभी नहीं होता है. हमेशा ये फिंगरप्रिंट्स बहुत ज़्यादा यूनिक होते हैं. It makes fingerprint the most infallible means of identification. इसलिए ही fingerprint identification सबसे legit way है identification का, क्योंकि जो fingerprints है duplicate नहीं किए जा सकते. fingerprints सही information देते हैं हमेशा. Okay, so fingerprints का function क्या है? When, like, we all know that what fingerprint is. So fingerprint is present on the outer layer of the skin, that is dermis. That's why we call it epidermal ridges. So these structures are there in the epidermis, not in dermis. I'm really very sorry. So it is there in epidermis, so that's why we call it epidermal ridges. So we have few functions. कौन कौन से वो functions? कुछ functions ऐसे हैं जो important है. Finger ridges have an average width of 0.48 millimeters in male and 0.43 millimeters in female. राइट जो फिंगर रिजेस होती हैं वो ह्यूमंस के मेल कैटेगरी एंड फीमेल कैटेगरी में स्लाइटली डिफर करती है. फॉर मेल इट्स 0.48, फॉर फीमेल इट्स 0.43. एंड वो कौन से ऐसे इंपॉर्टेंट फंक्शंस हैं जो हमारे फिंगरप्रिंट परफॉर्म करते हैं, राइट? दे इंक्रीजेस सिक्योरिटी एंड कॉन्टैक्ट विद ऑब्जेक्ट. सो जो आपके फिंगरप्रिंट्स हैं वो किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट को होल्ड करने के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल होते हैं. सेंस ऑफ सिक्योरिटी इंक्रीज होती है, right? Sense of security is increased of contact with objects. When we come in contact with objects, आपको उस object के contact में जाना पड़ेगा. Okay, the ridges are studded with small holes. So these ridges are studded with small holes. So we have small little holes. We have small little holes in here. See, we have small little holes in here. Everywhere. So these small little holes are studded in the skin, that is your sweat pores, through which perspiration happens. Okay, the perspiration acts as a lubricant and ensures firmness of the grip. This is the first function. दूसरा function क्या है? They enhances the sense of touch. अब ये जो आपके fingerprint है वो आपके sense of touch को भी enhance करते हैं. क्या करते हैं? आपके सेंस ऑफ टच को भी इन्हांस करते हैं. When a finger comes in contact with an uneven surface, जैसे ही हमारी फिंगर किसी भी uneven surface के कांटेक्ट में आती है, the epidermal ridges amplify the vibrations. तो ये छोटी छोटी जो epidermal ridges है ये क्या करती है? वाइब्रेशंस को मल्टीप्लाई कर देती है, एम्पलीफाई कर देती है. Due to friction and transmit of signals, sensory nerves involved in texture perception. So we can sense if some structure is not plain, or if that structure is a little different on because of these ridges. जो ये ridges है ये vibrations को amplify करती हैं और आपको brain को ये signal मिलता है कि आप जिस structure को touch कर रहे हैं वो plain है या फिर और भी चीज़ें involved है. अगर rough है, अगर texture smooth नहीं है, right? So these cells amplify the other what we call it message. Okay, so it amplifies. That's why it is that's why we can sense what is the surface, what is the structure is like, because of the sense of perception. Okay, for this reason epidermal ridges are also called as frictional ridges. That's why we call them frictional ridges as well. तो 3 प्रिंसिपल्स हैं, फंडामेंटल फोरेंसिक प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ लाइक इट इज स्पेसिफिक टू फिंगरप्रिंटिंग. फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल ऑफ फिंगरप्रिंटिंग कौन कौन से फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल फिंगरप्रिंटिंग के? अ फिंगरप्रिंट इज इंडिविजुअल कैरेक्टर. no two person can have identical character. Correct. Fingerprints remain unchanged during the individual's lifetime. Correct. Fingerprints have general rich pattern that permits them for classification. Absolutely correct. अब ये कैसे होता है? जो फिंगरप्रिंट है, if fingerprint is an individual characteristics, no two fingerprint have identical characteristics. So it is already proved that two fingerprint cannot be same. Fingerprints are absolutely unique, more unique than the DNA, because even identical twins have same DNA, but identical twins do not have same fingerprint or same rich pattern. That's why although identical twins have same DNA sequencing, they do not have identical fingerprints. Two twins, or if two twins have same or similar kind of DNA, they will not have the same fingerprint. So that's why it is a principle of individuality. Then we have ridges, so we have different type of ridges. Okay, so individuality of fingerprint is not determined by its shape because of ridge pattern and way of location, and it flows to one side to the other side. Okay, the average fingerprint has 150 individual characters, but in crime scene some sections of fingerprint is found, and this lets limited area of forensic examination. So because our area is really very limited, because we have already a limited criteria to work with. Okay, so rich characteristics, what are the different rich characteristics? Bifurcation, ridge ending enclosure, short ridge, delta core, hook, eye bridge, land, crossover, everything is a ridge characteristics, and which is unique in a way, but it is not duplicated. It is never duplicated. Okay. Rich comparison. So 8 to 16 characteristics are required to meet criteria of individuality. So 8 to 16 characteristics are really very important to be matched. Okay, so this is rich characteristics. Just go through it. Fingerprints which remains unchanged during a person's lifetime. The rich pattern begins to take shape into fetal stage, and that does not alter during a person's lifespan. Of course, yes, it is only after death that decomposition sets in and the finger ridges are destroyed. Okay, in the growth age, the fingerprint pattern expands as a result of aging, and in it may shrink. However, the basic design remains the same. So the basic design, basic criteria, basic category would be same. Okay, skin is composed of different layers. First layer is your nearest, and which is near to the epidermis. It is there. It is near in epidermis, and inner skin is known as dermis. Then there we have two areas of separated dermis papillae. तो कौन कौन है वो सेपरेटेड एरिया? द डर्मल पैपिलाई फॉर्म्स रिज विच इज प्रेजेंट ऑन द एपिडर्मिस. जो एपिडर्मिस में होती है वही ही सेल बनाती है. वंस द डर्मल पैपिलाई डेवलप्स इन फीटस, rich pattern remains same for the whole life. So it is until when if the fetus is not completely developed or formed. Right, then we have fingerprints can be classified for recording and keeping. So because of that, we have unique classifications which allows fingerprint examination to record, and there is no like to have this point that there is no two fingerprints which is like. Okay, when a person commits a crime and then it is arrested, he is fingerprinted by police. The fingerprint record is then passed to the nearest fingerprint bureau. There are many 25 state level fingerprint bureaus in India. Their functioning is coordinated by Central Fingerprint Bureau, which is under Ministry of Home Affairs. That is, each bureau maintains the catalog of fingerprint. So these are three important functional characteristic of ridges. Okay, so the next topic we will complete in the next lecture probably. So don't forget to be on our Telegram group. Don't forget to follow us, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a great day ahead. See you in the next video. Till then, study well. Bye.